As you can see, I've switched it up a little bit. Switched up the minifig positioning. I've also redone a couple of I took out the trees. And overall, I've just tried to improve it a little bit. I have a parts haul in my newest video that's coming out. But, yeah. Basically, what I want to do today is just work on the house. I'm going to try to log on my other device real quick. Okay, and I'll try to find it. I'm also going to be looking at reference pictures because I really don't want to get this wrong. So, it's kind of my goal here. I'm going to try to get it as accurate as I can. And, yeah, I'm just going to start. What you kind of want to start with is a sort of outline of some light tan, because I feel like that sort of makes it look a little bit more interesting to the eye, makes it a little bit more eye-catching. And I feel like it kind of improves a mock when you do something like that. I'll put a masonry brick in this one. And I'm just going to grab a couple more parts and put them down here. Again, just trying to get it all in order. Trying to make sure it looks all nice. And I'm going to actually start working on a white too. I just got to make sure that this is 5 bricks tall, just to make sure that it'll work. Then we'll just get a couple more parts in here. I'm just gonna try to get a minifig in here for scale, if I can find a good one. Semi-good one. I'll just throw this guy in. And he'd probably be looking out of that window through there, so that's probably good height to put the window. And I'm gonna try to find a way to sort of integrate that in, but first I'm gonna sort of cover it up, make it look all nice, if I can. I did also get a whole bunch of dark tan pieces for my most recent haul, so I'm excited to I'll probably be using some of those, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, I don't really know how I want this house to look. It's kind of hard to find like a good reference picture for this. I'm gonna try my hardest. Okay, so we got 6 viewers, pretty good first start. Just trying to get a little bit at a time here. I'm gonna grab out a couple of those parts I was just talking about and try to get them in. I think they just really add a good texture to the mock, and that's kind of what I'm going for with this stuff. Now, I had like only a couple of these parts, but I just refilled it when I went to my local brick shop, so I have plenty of those now. I'll put some of these to the side and just try to find the parts to finish this off, which I might not have actually gotten a lot of. That'll work though. Okay, so just one of those. One on top. I'm actually just going to keep it a little bit flatter. I'm not going to add any more of that brick texture, because I feel like I just don't need to. last but not least, finally add on this top and place that in. So that looks alright. It's a little bit textured. I'm not sure if it's too dark for what I'm doing, but I don't know. Again, I can just hear you guys' thoughts when people start actually saying anything. Okay, so I don't know if I have the right parts for this. I used up a lot of my darker parts, so I just have to go with like a red cover or something over that. That'll work, but it's not great. Actually, no. I can actually sort of fix that. Okay. And that looks slightly better. It's not great, but it's never gonna be. Again, we are actually doing pretty well on views right now. I'm just gonna try to get a whole bunch of parts in here, make it look all nice, or at least try my best. Again, I'm not sure how I feel about this sort of darkish tan in here. I might not do that and instead just replace it. If I can even find my brick separator. And there we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna replace that. I don't think it looks the best. I don't think it really adds anything, so. Again, I'm just probably gonna make it a little bit smaller too, because I kind of went on a larger scale. Oh, hello, John Arios. Welcome to the stream. I have one like, which I guess is from John Arios. So thank you. Now, I'm probably going to do something like that. Actually, no, I might just try to finish this off. And then just a couple more parts, and we should be good. So yeah, this is going pretty well. We got a lot of views, already one like, so already pretty good, pretty decent. You know what I might do is, I'm not sure where exactly I'm going to be able to put some of these parts. So I'm going to try to figure that out right now. I can't find any of the parts that I'm looking for. 1 second. There it is. And just a quick one of those. Throw it down there. Okay, so I just need one more. Actually, there I don't think I need it. So I'll just have to keep in mind that that's where it is on the other side. I'm going to save some of these parts. I'll put like a speck of that dark tan in there, because why not? And just need like one there. And then finally I can place in this, which I have to find the exact part, which is that. And that can go as sort of a support pillar. You can kind of see through or under to what's there, but I think that's probably fine. I'm just going for like a simple design for this house. Might not be entirely accurate to what you see in Fury, but again, not much that'll do on this channel is 100% accurate. So, I'm doing my best with what I have. And just need a couple more parts, and we should be good. Now, I already kind of designed this part of the house the first time, but I'm going to take another look at it when I'm done with this and figure out what the roof's gonna look like. Because that's sort of what I was having trouble with before. And then just a couple more parts. Nothing new in chat, so I'll just keep an eye out, but I'm just gonna try to fill in this last spot up here. And I'll be able to. That looks pretty good. I think that'll work. The house looks a little bit small compared to the one in the movie, but in order for it to actually be minifig scale, I'm not sure how exactly I'd do it. Again, I'm going to place some of these parts over here, and I'm just going to try to search up Fury Final fight scene. I'll actually search that up on YouTube, so I'll probably lose a viewer here because I'm watching on another account. Now I have a couple of things in here, such as these sort of pallets. I like the pallet, and there's this little barrel here. These Germans have sandbags for cover, which of course he didn't actually see because they were caught by surprise, but again, I just didn't know how to add something to that area. I have to sort of compromise here. I also have these hedgerows. These do go in here, but I feel like they'd block the view if I did that. And I'm just going to try to find the video, but while I do that, I can sort of get out some of the pieces that I'll need for doing all that. And I'll use a lot of these pieces for the roofs. I'm not entirely sure though. Okay. Yeah, this is actually a little bit more complicated than I thought it would be. I'm sorry, I'm kind of just sitting in silence here. And I wish I could show it, but I'd probably get copyrighted or something, so. Yeah, I'm just looking at it for reference. It's kind of. The house is kind of complicated, which is kind of my problem. Again, I'm being real quiet because I'm trying to find the right scene. Okay, so I'm actually sort of wrong here. I don't need to do anything on the sides of these houses. I don't need all of that. What I need to do is add some like supports, sort of. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to sort of figure out how this is going to work. So and it's a little bit steeper in the movie again, but I'm not sure I can get it 100% historically accurate. Hey SMG Films, welcome to the stream. I'm just working on my Fury mock again. I'm just trying to get some of these parts down, make it look all nice. And I think it's going pretty well so far. I'm just working on the house right now. Another video's coming out this Monday, so it's all fun. I did extend the tank barrel. I made it a lot longer, so it sort of matches the Fury tank barrel. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's a lot longer of a barrel than it was before. just a couple more parts. And then we should be alright. I'm just trying to find the right parts to do this. I might try to do another masonry brick in here, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that would look good, so I'm going to try to find my other masonry part. If that's even possible. And then I'm just going to place that in there. You can hardly see it, but I think it adds a nice effect. And I have the perfect window for this one. It's a little bit of a wider frame. It's actually a brick-built window frame, so I'm just going to probably place that somewhere in here. Maybe try to make it look a little bit more integrated with the scene, but that's about what I'm going to do. And we have 6 viewers, so that's pretty good. Just going to work on this a little bit longer, and then we could probably move on to something else when I'm done with this house. If I get done with this house, that is. It shouldn't take me that long, but I always say that, and then it takes me a pretty long time. Alright, so I'm seeing in the reference photo that there's another small window down here. It is sort of an oddly shaped house, I'm not gonna lie. I don't quite get why all the windows are where they are, but I'm just gonna kind of go with it, see what I can do with it. You really got no other choice here. Again, I am trying to get it as accurate as I can when I do this stuff, so as accurate as is humanly possible. As is possible with my parts collection, I should say, I guess. And just a couple more parts, and this should be good. Yeah, we're staying at a decent amount of viewers, so that's all well and good. Just gonna grab a couple of these white parts and place them in, if I can find the right ones. And just a couple. If I can find those, that's gonna go there. I might actually do a shade sort of in there. I feel like that also looks fine. Again, I'm not sure if I have the right parts to do all this, but that's the fun part, is figuring out if I do. And then searching for them for half the stream like I normally do. Which is what I've been doing for most of the stream, so guess that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find a part. And I'm not finding it, so I'm just gonna probably keep going and try to figure that out a little bit later. Anyways, getting off topic here. Just gonna try to finish this off, make it look all nice. I might honestly just try to fit... I think I know what I'm gonna do. So I have a couple of these pieces. I'm gonna make it look like there's a little bit of a curtain going down, but that's basically what I'm gonna go for there. I think it still looks nice, still looks kind of combined and about how I want it to. And gonna start getting a couple of these parts in here. Again, trying to make it look nice. And I'm gonna replace one of these parts because I think it looks a little bit odd the way I have it. So I do that, and then again, replace a couple parts, then it should look just about how I want it to. Try to grab that part I just dropped. And we're still at about where we were in terms of viewers, so nobody said anything in chat since SMG Films, so nothing new there. I will keep checking up, but sometimes it feels like I'm streaming to absolutely nobody, and it's kind of weird and annoying. So that's not gonna work. Try to add in a couple of parts here and make sure that it can fit. Again, I didn't really announce this one, but I'd hope that's not the biggest effect for these not doing well. These streams used to be so fun for me. It's just, since I haven't been getting that many views, it's just not been as enjoyable on my part. And I don't know what to do about that. I'm back down to one viewer, so I'm not really talking to anybody right now, but I don't know. It's just a sort of, I keep making all this content and trying to do everything for this channel, and sometimes I feel like it's not the results that I want. So, I don't know. This house is coming together pretty well, though. I'd say it's somewhat accurate. Actually, no, I'm going to change something up real quick. And, again, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but gotta give it my best shot here. And what I'm picking up here is that there's this little wooden beam, sort of, that goes through a sort of part here. It goes across, so I'm going to try to fix that. This is actually turning out pretty well. I wasn't sure how this house would turn out, but again, I'm talking to myself. I hope that you guys can understand. I'm not, like, I'm happy with where I'm at in terms of YouTube, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. I feel like I should be getting more views when I literally have 0 right now. So, that's, of course, great. And just the past couple times, it hasn't been fun nor enjoyable. Okay, I'm back on my account. I just don't know how to really fix my problem here. And I'm just going to grab a couple more of these brown parts. There's a lot more in this section. So I'm just going to grab a couple more of those, place them in here somewhere. Again, I will be going back and forth. Alright, 2 people viewing. I'm not sure if that's like counting my account as more than 1, but I'm not sure. So I think I'm going to start with this sort of roof. It is a really sort of weird design for this whole roof thing. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for this wooden beam because I sort of have to have this in here. I think I'm going to have it a little bit uneven, which isn't great, but it's what's going to have to happen. Or maybe I could just put it down. I'm just going to put it down one more. It's not going to be the best solution, but and then just I need to find that part that I just had, or at least that I thought I just had, unless I dropped it somewhere. Back down to one viewer. Right. And that will fit on nicely in there. Then it can sort of go across like that. I can place down a piece to make sure that that all ends up nicely. Although I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to have it a little bit higher when I start this roof. Alright, I'm going to go back to the video I was on. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'll have like a halfway through jump in viewers. Sometimes that happens and it's really fun. Sometimes it pushes it out to people at different times, I get that, but it hasn't been too fun for me so far. That's sort of the whole goal of this, is to have fun. Alright. So I'm just trying to find the scene again. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it. But I think this is the scene where they're firing at the house. No, it's not. Alright. Just let that run for a little while. And again, I gotta go back a little. Okay, now, you see, I can't find the scene. This is what really annoys me. There we go. Alright, we're back. Now, of course, this is a very scaled down house. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this, but this whole window thing is giving me a lot of trouble. I'm adding a slight brick texture below this one because I'm sort of running out of regular pieces that I could put there. Or I could try to fit in a sort of light tan. That's what I'm probably going to do, actually. And then just a couple more parts. So there's one there. Just another part or two, and we should be alright. No, it's not gonna work. And just a little bit of this brown for a beam that goes across. That sort of solves our problem. Alright, so I think we're back on track now. I'm just gonna try to place in a couple parts and then work on this roof. Okay, so then I'm not sure exactly how this is gonna... Okay, so it seems like it goes across... There's one that goes across the top of this, which... Alright, this is gonna be weird. But I'll see what I can do. You know what, that's gonna work. That's good enough for me. So I'll just place down another couple of parts, and then that is basically this whole roof section done. I do also kind of gotta angle it, so figure that out. And just a couple more parts. Just a couple more. I think I just need one more white slope piece in here. I'm at 0 viewers, so I don't know who I'm talking to. Alright, I'm just gonna try to find a couple more parts in here, and then I wish I organized these parts a little bit better, but it's kind of hard to find them when they're all sort of mixed up in here like this. I'm doing my best right now. And I'll throw that in there, and then probably just 1 or 2 more parts, and we should be fine. Because then I'm going to throw on one of these at about here, and there's going to be a sort of overhang. I'm going to try to fix that. There's like a little gap in there. That might be better. Alright, that'll work. I'll probably do that. And then I'll try to figure out something for the top of this. But I just need one more part, and then we'll be good. I'm not finding that part, and it's really driving me kind of insane. I can't find it. Where would I put that part? I swear I had more of those. I used a lot more of those before. That's the problem with building this stuff live. It's just like really hard to find parts. That's like my biggest struggle when I'm doing these. Yeah, not finding anything. Oh, that might work. No, I'm calling it quits. I'm just gonna use this part because I found it. That'll work. It works fine, actually. Okay, so I'm gonna again find another one of these sort of parts here. See if it can all fit, and Another one of my problems might be is I do have like some of these black parts that could fit, but I'm not sure if they will. I actually don't have any of those black parts that I was just talking about, so that could be a problem. This is just such a mess. Got one viewer. It's one more than I had before. Again, just trying to find some parts. It's about the best I can do at this point because I'm running out of pieces and hope. I mean, that sort of works. It doesn't work great, and it doesn't look great. I'm not going to do that. That could work, but again, it's too high, and that roof isn't going to fit, so running out of options here. I found this, which I could add as like a sort of rim, and then put it on top. That's what I'm probably gonna do, because there's no way that I'm doing anything else. So, and then just a couple more of these parts, so we should be good. And then there's that, so that looks alright. It's about how it is in the movie anyways, so I'll call it good. And then I'll have to find another one of those sort of parts and see if I can sort of replicate that to the other side. But again, I'll have to find that part, and that's kind of the key thing to this. Is finding the parts, which I don't have. Not the right parts. There's that. This would have been really good, but not the right part. This is really boring, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm just looking for parts all the time, and I can't find any. If I set this up correctly, maybe I'd be able to, but I had like a couple minutes to prepare for this. And should be alright. So probably just grab a couple more of these parts. Grab a 2x4 if I can find one, which I did. Alright. Now I'm going to try to figure out this whole roof thing again. And it doesn't look great, but it's the best I can do with the parts that I have. So that's what I'm going to try to do here. Okay, so we got that there. That looks fine. I'll try to find a couple more parts in here, but otherwise, that's probably pretty good. Can try to grab a couple of these blackish parts and try to fit them in, but I don't know, that's about as good as I'm going to get it. Do I have any of these, like... See, I could just throw that in there, and that would sort of finish it off. That's probably what I'm going to do there. I think that looks fine. Even sort of nice. So that'll work. And that fits almost perfectly in there. It's a little bit fragile, though. The only main problem. But that's the top of this part of the house done. Now I just have to work on this side of the house, which is not nearly as hard. nearly as complicated. And then I just have to do a couple bits and bobs of detailing off screen. But otherwise, I'm making pretty good progress. I'm feeling decent. The stream was kind of a letdown for me, but I don't know. Sometimes I have a good stream, sometimes I don't. Just sort of a part of it. And just gonna try to find the right parts. And just a couple more. And we should be fine. So I'm just gonna grab a couple of these white parts, gotta add them in. And then I'm gonna try to sort of... I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm really tired. I just had like a huge sleepover with my friends, so that was all fun and good. Big J was there. But I'm pretty tired from that, so I'm just trying to get this done. It's Mother's Day, so we're going to a park. I don't know. Okay. We got 2 viewers, so that's pretty good. I'm just gonna try to get this last wall done. Can't actually see the wall section, but that's it right there. That's where I'm gonna start off with. So we're gonna place that, and just like another part in here. And that's start of the final wall. We'll add another layer so that both sides of the wall are symmetrical. 6, 7. Oh man. Well, welcome to the stream. It's been a while since anybody's chatted, so thanks for joining. Can you build the minifigs? We want you to when you're done with that. I think you're asking if I can do another minifig building stream. Well, probably when I'm done with this project. I did just reach 300, so I can do one of those if people want it. I don't recall if I've seen you on my page, like if you've liked or commented any of the times. If you have, I'm sorry, I just don't really have best recollection right now. And this is a Fury mock right now, if you couldn't tell. Hold up. How old are you? I'm a teenager. That's all I'm probably gonna say. But I've been doing this for a while. This is sort of one of my main hobbies. And I've been doing this since I was like 8. Mock building. Of course they've gotten better over time, but I don't know, it's just a really sort of fun hobby. Something that you can sort of do and just forget about. Just something to take your mind off things, I don't know. It's just something I like to do. And it's fun to share it with everybody. Do you play Minecraft Dungeons? I don't play Minecraft much anymore. I used to play it a lot, but I don't know. Since I kind of grew up, I don't know, sort of phased out of it. I probably still could play. I've sort of wanted to a couple of times because I've seen like a whole bunch of cool build projects. We're about 3/4 of the way through this stream, and I'm almost done this house, so it's a good sign. But anyways, yeah, no, Minecraft Dungeons, I've played it with my friends a couple of times. I went over to a friend's house one time and just playing that. It's a fun game, yeah. Very cool. Do you make stop motion? Yes, I do make stop motion. I was gonna make one fairly recently for creators stop motion contest. I said I'd sign up, but since I don't know if you're in the U.S. this time of year, we have a lot of testing and just a whole lot of homework in this last couple weeks of school, so it's kind of a awful time to be doing anything on my channel. Alright, now I just need a couple more of these parts and should be good to finish this off. Yeah, Yankees. I'm from Philly, so I don't like Yankees. I'm more of a Phillies guy. I actually went to the Phillies game. That was part of the sleepover or whatever. So I'm just going to try to extend this a little bit. Again, make it look all nice. I do like the house. I think it looks pretty cool. Go Blue Jays. I honestly haven't been keeping tabs on the Blue Jays. I'm not a huge fan of baseball, but I don't know. I do like the Phillies. That's sort of my team that I root for. And just a couple more of these parts in here. And we're basically done with this house. So I'm just going to try to get a couple of parts in here. As you can see also, this sort of section in here needs like something over it. So I'm going to try to figure that out. I sub to you, please. Hey Damos, welcome to the stream. I guess this is like the mid join point that I normally get because I had a pretty lame stream before you guys joined. I just think it's a real bummer when I put my time aside to sort of talk to you guys and nobody shows up for the first section. And of course, it's not your guys' fault. It's sort of something I do to myself, I think. I like food. Built a World War II plane yesterday. Nice. I'm not big into vehicle building, as I probably said before, but when you do it, it is fun. The last one I made was my sort of Sherman British tank hybrid thingy. It was an interesting one. And throw that in there. Then I'll throw that. And that's basically it. So that's the house finished. I think it looks pretty nice. I'm happy with it. I'm going to add this sort of trim on the top. Of course, it's not totally accurate to how it was in the movie. I have a stop motion contest that ends on the 15th. I'm not sure I'll be able to pull something out by the 15th. I also don't know if I've seen you too much before on here, so I'd have to find your channel, but this is Fury. This is based off of the movie Fury. I'm sorry, I didn't really clarify that. I'm not sure if you'd asked, but I have the tank over here, so it's the Fury tank, and this is the final fight scene from Fury. I'm a pretty big fan of that movie. It's probably one of my favorite World War II movies to this day. I can't exactly get the part that I'm looking for. Trying to find it. If you go back and rewatch any of this, then you probably see that I've been looking for parts for almost all of it, so it wouldn't have been very fun to join in then. This is the fun part, though, when you see it all sort of come together. And yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest. I just have to add in a couple of details. And I have these bushes or hedgerows that I replaced this in. What's it called? It's called Fury. I want to choose a new country instead of USSR for aircraft. Again, I'm not an aircraft geek, but there are a lot of really cool American aircraft that I've seen, like all those World War II bombers. I think were really cool. They got a lot of good history attached to. I might try to do that and place it in there. Not sure though. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, so we have this house finished. I think that actually turned out way better than I thought it would. I'm very happy with that, to be honest. I might make some changes after the stream, but that's basically all I'm going to do here. I'll talk to you guys for a little while longer, but I'm probably going to end it soon. America, Germany, or Japan? Yeah, that's probably what I'd go for. And I'm going to try to actually add back in these bushes. They've been giving me a lot of trouble because they don't quite group together that well. They're very dense, and if you put them too close together, they'll knock each other out of the way. But as you can see, this is sort of what you'd see in the movie. The tank is sort of there, right in the middle of the road. Right now it's shooting at that building, or just at the Germans that are sort of retreating. And I'm a really big fan of just this avenue. You can see that there's all of that, the bushes, they're running off to the side. And I'm a pretty big fan of this. I think it's pretty accurate to the movie. I'm not sure if I could have done too much better on this with my parts collection. 6, 7. Man, that's really funny. I thought we left that, like, behind. I really, really thought. Really was wishing. I feel like it should be a dead meme by now. But I guess it's iconic or something. Anyways, that's about it for this, and I'm really happy with it. I think it worked out better than I thought it would. I can show you the house in the movie. I'll go full screen on this one. But that's sort of the house that I was going for here. Ah, okay, this is great. I'm gonna have to actually put it in front. This is the house I was sort of going for. It's got that sort of look on it. And that's what I got. It's pretty accurate, honestly. Hydrate or dehydrate. Hydration is key. Anyways, thank you guys for joining at the end. I was really down. I really didn't like doing this when nobody's here. And you guys really helped me sort of get motivation. But thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.